Hello everyone, welcome to your channel Mind Your Exam. So in this video, we would be studying the while loop. We have already covered the for loop in the previous video, and this time we would be covering the second type of loop that the Python programming language provides to you, and that is the while loop. So what is the while loop? The while loop, similar to the for loop, is used to repeat a set of statements multiple times, but unlike the for loop, the while loop does not iterate over a sequence of numbers. It may iterate, but it is not compulsory. So again, the while loop uses some condition to check whether that condition is true, and if that condition is true, the statements written within the while loop are executed, and as soon as the loop condition becomes false, the loop will terminate. So that means in both the cases, whether it is the for loop or the while loop, if the initial condition, the loop condition becomes false in the very first iteration, then the statements written within the loop will not be executed even once. Okay, so the generic working of a while loop is, first the condition is checked, the loop condition is checked. If the condition is true, the loop statements are executed, and once all the statements are executed, the control again gets transferred to the loop condition. It is again checked. If it is true, the loop statements are again executed and the cycle repeats. Okay, now what is the syntax of the while loop? The while loop again has a similar syntax to the for loop. First, you will write the keyword while, then you will specify which condition you want to check. That will determine the working of the loop or the execution of the loop statements. Then you specify a colon in front of the test condition. Then in the next line, you can specify the loop statements which are indented at one indentation level. At one indentation level means the indentation is same for all the loop statements, and the indentation level is immediately follows the indentation level at which the while statement is present. Okay, so if the while statement is present at the extreme left, then the loop statements would begin after a single tab or a space, and all those statements which would follow the same indentation level, and so on. All right, now taking a quick example of the while loop. Here we have a variable named number, and we have initialized this variable as 0. Okay, then we have written a while condition which is while number is less than 5. So our loop condition is, as long as this number remains less than 5, we have to execute all the statements written in the while loop. So the while loop consists of two main statements. First, we are printing the number multiplied by 2. That means we are multiplying the number by 2 and printing whatever the result we get. And then we are incrementing the number by 1. Now, this second statement is very important, because this statement will determine the value of the loop control variable, which is number in this case. So what is the loop control variable? The loop condition is number less than 5, and the variable being used in that condition whose value is being checked is the variable number. So this is the loop control variable here. And if you do not update the loop control variable, the value of this variable will remain the same. This condition would always evaluate to true. That means if number is assigned to be 0, then 0 less than 5 will always be true. And if you do not write this second statement, then this would go into an infinite loop. Therefore, in a while loop, it is very important to write a statement, a program statement within the while loop that updates the control variable of the loop. This statement was not necessary in the for loop, because when we were writing the for loop, there was an iteration over all the items that are present in the sequence, and automatically an iteration means that the control would get transferred to the next element. So the loop control variable was getting updated itself. But in a while loop, you have to take care that if this is not the case, you will have to explicitly specify a program statement that updates the while loop, and the indentation level at which that statement should be present should be within the loop. Okay, otherwise if this statement is written outside the loop, there would be no point, because this statement will not be considered as a part of the loop, and again, since the variable is not getting updated, the condition will always remain the same. Okay, so that is all for the while loop. I hope you have understood the concept and the difference between the for loop and the while loop. So stay tuned till our next video, in which we would be studying about the break statement and the continue statement, which actually have the capability to disturb the flow of control of any loop. Okay, so stay tuned to our series of Python programming, and till we meet in the next video, mind your exam.